Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, it happens sometimes. You hear me say this every couple of months, sometimes multiple times in a month. Sometimes you just run into the perfect clip for the moment. You know, something that's shocking and viral, and it just outlines exactly what you were talking about over the last couple of days. Well, what's been the topic, or at least the focus, at least coming from my videos over the last couple of days following this assassination attempt, or second assassination attempt is probably a better way to say it. I've been so focused, frankly, desperately, almost fatigued in my desperation, pointing the finger at the elephant in the room. I don't know how many times I need to say it, how many times I need to record similar videos, pointing the finger at left-wing rhetoric, the extreme nature of it, the widespread nature of it, and how that's obviously motivating susceptible, unhinged, gullible people to commit acts of violence, acts of political terrorism. The left is always going on and on about rhetoric. You can't say stuff like that. Oh, that's stochastic terrorism. The typical "I was murdered" meme.
Here's your words, here's your words.
I was murdered.
You were murdered. Okay,
They're always playing the victim, but of course, as per usual, like we always point out, they're 10 times more guilty, and that right there is what's being highlighted here. Democrats have created a monster, and the cat is out of the bag. Let's have a conversation about that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so you know, like I'm saying, we got Democrats who on the surface here are saying, never violence, never political violence, no calls to violence, yada, yada, yada. We condemn violence, even though it took them 100 days to condemn political violence during the George Floyd riots. You know, they're having all their aides release the appropriate statements on their social media platforms, but they're doing this as their voters are calling into C-SPAN and saying stuff like this.
Slidell, Louisiana. Willie, Democrat, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say I'm a very patriotic American. I did 20 years in the military, 2 tours of Vietnam, wounded in 1966, went back in 68. And I look at myself and think about, as a military man, we're supposed to close, kill, capture, destroy the enemy by all means available. And to see we let this man Trump destroy America, and I look at it and say, well, these two people had to step up and take that shot. I'm 83, nothing to lose.
I'm sorry, Willie, you're not advocating violence, are you?
Not violence. I'm talking about defending my country.
All right. Dan, in Louisville, Kentucky, independent, good.
And that right there is what I meant when I said the cat's out of the frickin' bag, folks. The Democrats created a monster here. They've convinced probably, you know, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people that they're living in some life or death situation. Now, I know there's a lot of blue anon people who kind of, you know, regurgitate the talking points. You know, millions of people are Trump deranged, but there's probably a couple hundred or a couple thousand people out there who are off the rocker and just falling for this stuff, who think Donald Trump is an actual existential threat that they believe must be eliminated. I mean, that's what happens when you say Donald Trump over and over again is a threat to democracy or is Hitler. You say it enough times, eventually some people are going to be crazy enough to actually believe it. And of course, you know, every time we're in a situation where left-wing violence materializes into something ugly, Democrats start to retreat. Oh no, we never condone this. We're not part of this. We never said anything. You know, they're always playing stupid. They can play stupid all they want, but we're starting to get too good at this game. I mean, we're collecting the receipts. I've been playing clip after clip after clip, and I'm just getting started. And you know what? The Trump campaign just made my life even easier, releasing 50 examples of Democrat rhetoric that could potentially inspire violence. Yesterday, President Donald J. Trump was the target of a second assassination attempt in the last 2 months. Thankfully, the would-be assassin was stopped by the heroic action of law enforcement, but make no mistake, this psycho was egged on by the rhetoric and lies that have flowed from Kamala Harris, the Democrats and their fake news allies for years. Democrats used increasingly incendiary rhetoric against President Trump in the days, weeks, and months leading up to the 2 assassination attempts. Kamala Harris said repeatedly that Trump is a threat to our democracy and fundamental freedoms. Quote, "It's on us to recognize the threat Trump poses. Does one of us have to come out alive? Ha 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 ha." In reference to the Ellen video we played yesterday.
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Joe Biden said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. He said, "I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic, and that is a threat to this country. Are Republicans a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes," Tim Walz said. Gwen Walz said, "Bye-bye, Trump." Not sure why they included that one. Representative Nancy Pelosi said, "Trump is a threat to our democracy of the kind that we have not yet seen." Jasmine Crockett said, "MAGA in general. They are a threat to us domestically. Representative Dan Goldman said, he is destructive to our democracy and he has to be eliminated. I mean, the list goes on. It literally goes on. I mean, page by page. Democrat Donald Trump's an existential threat to our democracy. We can't let him win. We gotta stop him. We gotta, quote, eliminate him. Raphael Warnock said that Trump is a plague on the American conscience and a clear and present threat. I mean, I could keep pulling these up one after another. And it's not just the politicians. Those were just politicians, by the way. It's also the journalists who jump on the bandwagon and continuously repeat the line, Trump is a threat to our democracy, over and over again.
Stochastic terrorism is, right, when a leader uses language that is more likely than not to radicalize.
Democracy is on the ballot still.
Democracy is on the ballot.
Democracy is on the ballot.
Democracy's on the ballot.
Democracy's on the ballot.
Democracy is literally on the ballot.
Democracy is on the ballot for this election.
Vice President Harris has made very clear that democracy is on the ballot here.
Democracy, of course, is, as the president likes to say, on the ballot.
Terrorism experts call this stochastic terrorism, where somebody has been so demonized that it creates this heightened risk of lone wolf actors.
Donald Trump is turning this nation into Nazi Germany.
You now have a president, as you said, talking about exterminating Latina.
I mean, what do you expect's gonna happen? And it's not like they're stupid, they know. That clip was so cleverly edited by MRC. You have a left-wing journalist describing stochastic terrorism, but of course he's using it in reference to Trump and the MAGA Republicans. They're engaging in stochastic terrorism. No examples of targeted political violence from MAGA extremists. But anyways, he describes stochastic terrorism, the same thing that AOC is constantly talking about.
Here's your words, here's your words.
I was murdered.
You were murdered. Okay,
It's stochastic terrorism. They're inciting violence against me. They're inciting violence against journalists. Donald Trump's inciting violence against people who criticize him. Blah, blah, blah. They always say that. But that description of stochastic terrorism, demonizing somebody so persistently and consistently in such extreme fashion over such a long period of time that eventually you motivate a lone wolf actor. He's describing exactly what they've been doing for years. I mean, like I showed you guys yesterday, the Kamala Harris team released this the day that Donald Trump was almost assassinated. Democracy is under assault by, quote, criminal Donald Trump. After the last election, he sent a mob to overturn the election. This campaign, he has promised violence if he loses. I mean, I'm reading it again because it's so extreme, it's so ridiculous. The end of our elections if he wins. Quote, democracy's on the ballot, right? And the termination of the Constitution. I mean, this is just ludicrous stuff. And all this on the backdrop as the former president is facing assassination attempts. It's just crazy. Hillary Clinton seems to be angry that the media is focused on the Trump assassination or attempted assassination at all. She just wants them to keep going on about how dangerous Donald Trump is.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. You know, the late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
The rest of these leftists just seem to not care.
He needs to just get over it and accept that things like this are a fact of life, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. And as long as we have Republicans in control of Congress, nothing's going to change. So get over it.
And Don Lemon's doing what the rest of them are doing, blaming it on Donald Trump.
Crooked Joe, Crooked Hillary, Crooked Kamala, Comrade Kamala, deranged Jack Smith, bird brain Nikki Haley, bloodbath if he's not elected. There won't be another election if he's not elected. Bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're poisoning the blood of our country, destroying the blood of our country, which was something that was Hitler-esque. Communist, Marxist, fascist, left-leaning that live like vermin, sons of to NBA players. Whole countries. Haiti was one, and now he's blaming Haitian immigrants for things. Blood coming out of her wherever, as he talked about Megyn Kelly. And so if Donald Trump wants Kamala Harris and others to stop saying that he is a threat to democracy, then he should stop threatening democracy. Perhaps he shouldn't be trying to overturn elections, overthrow the government, and inciting insurrections if he doesn't want people to be honest about what he is, who who he is and what he's doing.
You know, these people are just unbelievable. They've truly created a monster. It's apparent they don't care. It was all by design. It was all by intention. And they have no qualms or regrets. It's destroy Donald Trump at any and all cost, even if it destroys the social fabric of the nation forever. It's unbelievable. Frankly, it's saddening to see the extremism and division that they have caused. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. I thought that C-SPAN clip pretty much, puts it all into perspective now, doesn't it? Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary and everything else. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.